What is up, everybody? Welcome to a Thursday, February 27th preview edition of the Europa League slate on Draftkings. Keith Jamison, Fantasy Sports Insight. We have a total of 11 games to get to across two slates, so just going to jump right into this. Don't think you want to have an hour-long video about Europa, so let's see how much we can knock out really quick. I will say that I feel a lot better about the second slate than the first slate. You have a lot more games that are closely contested on the second legs than the first. So if you are kind of new to these Europe competitions, both Champions League and Europa League, one of the biggest things you got to keep in mind on these second legs is what the aggregate score is, because teams based on where they stand are going to attack the game differently. So for example, we have Wolves are up 4-0 going into this leg in Spain. There's no reason for the Wolves to come out and all of a sudden be super open, crossing the ball a ton, and Nuno has no desire to do that anyways. It's not how he really prefers to play. So, somebody like Wolves, despite them being a solid favorite, despite them being much better than Espanyol, not going to be a team that we want to attack because they just don't have a reason to be offensive. So just keep that in mind. Shoot me a question on Discord if you remember, or if you just have a question, hit me up on Twitter. I'd love to go over it more, but just not going to belabor the point. So real quick, I'm just going to go through on the first slate the scores from the first leg. And then kind of tell you who we're targeting. So like I said, Wolves are up 4-0. They're at Espanyol. Sporting Lisbon's up 3-1. I really do think that we might be able to target this game, but I'll go into more of that shortly. Bayern Leverkusen up 2-1 over Porto. Basel is up 3-0 over Apol, and Roma is only up 1-0 going at Gent. So, without further ado, let's go into the plays. So first off, at forward, Dzeko is GPP play. Not only are Roma up, but he is a little goal dependent lately. The Wolves guys, I'm just going to skip over. I don't think you have the salary for it, and like I mentioned, I'm not interested. Abukar, he doesn't play for Porto, so don't know why they have him so high up there. So the first guy that I'm locking in is going to be Edna Visca. And I'm going to butcher it, but pretty much Istanbul. I'm not going to try to say the Bakar. Yeah, not going to try to say that. But Visca is an awesome player. Every once in a while takes some sets, but huge open crosser, loves to shoot, just attacks the hell out of a team off to the right. With them down 3-1, I really think that he's going to be attacking early and often. So definitely recommend, if we see him in, that he's one of your first guys in. From there, I do think if you want just to kind of fire something at it, or you could do worse than Arthur from Basel. They play normally as one striker, and he's the focus of things. His log here probably doesn't do as much justice as if you look in his domestic league, but solid player, okay price at 7,800. Just don't know how much Basel is going to push forward. They are in front of the home crowd, so I do think they still want to put on a show. Parodi is fine for a floor type of play. Doesn't really have sets for Roma anymore, but does still cross and is really good at drawing fouls. Let's see who else we got here. Luis Diaz plays out wide for Porto. Scored last leg. Has been pretty good all season. I think he's very much in play at 7,200. I always forget his name for Soares. Is it Tequino? I almost said Tiago, but Tequino Soares. Part of the two forward set for Porto, who is going to be pushing like crazy, and I do think has a solid chance of getting this tied. They're only down 2-1. Porto can be pretty crazy to go into. I probably prefer Marega, his striking partner, who subs less, and I just think is better. And you get an $800 discount down here at 6,200. I don't want to move over John Michael David. Is it John Michael? Jonathan David. Canadian young future star. We're not going to see him and Gent for much longer. A lot of bigger clubs are after him. 7,000, I really do think is a really nice play versus Roma, who we've seen be very, very, very leaky in Serie A. Um, so I like it here too. And Barba, I don't know if he'll start for Espanyol, but he does take a lot of sets. And Espanyol's had such a terrible season. They're last in La Liga. Uh, so it might be a chance for them to try to show out for their fans down 4-0 that they have no reason not to attack. So I do think that that type of play is in play. Let's see, there's nobody else meeting. Pedro Neto might be the only Wolves player to look at. I don't expect Moutinho to start, so if Neto starts, he normally takes monopoly of sets for them. Scroll down. Deportre, I guess so. I still have bad feelings of him watching him too much in EPL to really target him here. Mentioned Marega. Elia, I've looked through his domestic league logs, and he's not really jumping out anymore, but he's a guy I used to target a lot. Really does run at people and cross, and he's playing for Istanbul, who I like today. So that is a play. Vieto. So Lisbon's up 3-1, but Vieto, since Bruno's gone, has been taking a majority of the sets one in for Lisbon. So at 5,500, that gives you a solid floor. Expect him to be fairly popular. Again, it's just like how many sets do I expect Lisbon to get up 3-1 away from home. Demba Ba, that's just funny for name to see. I still hate him after the goal, but it's okay. And I don't think anybody else really is in play that I see here. So that's forward. Midfield a lot easier in terms of kind of who to like. So again, go past the Wolves guy. Kai Havertz, one of the best young players in the world. No sets though. It's just really pricey for a guy without sets. And he doesn't cross too much, but he does shoot. Does on PK duty. Had the I think Laird from RotoWire called it the best PK in Draftkings, where the guy gets it saved and then hits the follow-ups. Instead of getting 12 points, you get 14. So that really did help his logs. And also, just in that game, Leverkusen's logs are going to be really kind of skewed here. They absolutely demolished Porto early. I don't remember the shot total. I think they had like 12 or 13 shots at halftime. So when we go to some of these logs, they are probably a little misleading here. Pellegrini, solid player on half the sets for Roma. A lot of times does take most of them. Kolarov, when he's already up, will come in and take a few. But at 8K is a very solid floor. Scrolling down, don't see a lot that I like here. Stocker has been awesome for Basel domestically. Takes a set or two, but 7,100 is fine. Zufi, I don't believe is in the squad, but if you do see him in, normally he is the favored set taker for Basel. I put him on the sheet. I didn't have a chance to check all the squad lists, so if I do have a couple guys in the sheet that aren't in the squad, just go past them. Demirbay, always been a great DFS producer. Isn't playing as much domestically lately for Leverkusen, but is on a split set with Amiri. Has never seen a ball he doesn't think he can cross. Loves to shoot, so 6,500, really solid. One thing to keep in mind with these ties, so Leverkusen's up 2-1, but at the moment that that Porto scores, all of a sudden Leverkusen's going to go back to needing to attack a bit. So don't completely discredit guys that are in close ties, but like a Wolves 4-0, that's one that I am discrediting. Euros Matic, a lot of people were on him last slate. Takes most of the sets for Apel. They're just much worse than Basel. So 6,400, it's fine. I just don't necessarily know if it's necessary. Oliveira, split sets for Porto, but plays more centrally, so a lot of his DFS comes from those sets, lowering his floor a bit. Vargas, it's been great for Espanyol in the Europa League contest. Majority of sets if Mbarba is not in. So we mentioned Espanyol has no reason not to attack, so I do like him. Here is one of my locks I'm going to give out. I'm not going to try to say his name, but he takes a monopoly of sets for Gent. I'm not a huge Roma guy. I don't think that they dominate the game by any means. If you just go through his logs in Europa League, let's look at crosses: 5, 3, 6, 4, 7, 7, and from a fantasy point, 16.8, 8.8, 7.5, 12.2, 10.3, 19.4, 12.9. Yeah, you get the picture. Joe Corona used to be a guy that we used to play a lot when he split sets with Tellus, but he is not anymore. 5,400 though, on a team that needs attack, I still think is fine. Kovici splits the sets for Istanbul. Think that it's a pretty solid route for you to maybe attack. Sanchez takes some sets for Espanyol. 4,500 is very in play. Daniel Podence, you may see start for Wolves. Really nice player that they got from Olympiacos. 4,300 is somebody that I would consider from Wolves, especially if you go Espanyol is pretty weak team. They're going to open it up to try to impress their fans. So Wolves love to catch people on the counter. So that is a way that you can go. And then I don't think there's anybody under Amiri, but a guy I played last slate and put up 17 DK with no shots, no assists, which was just awesome. But he does split the sets for Leverkusen. Really, really good young player. If you get a chance to watch, he's very impressive to see. So you can definitely go there. And just trying to see real quickly if there's any names that pop out. I'm just going to go ahead and say no. Oh, Xhaka, worth noting. If you see no Zufi, and who's the other guy? If you see no Campo, Xhaka probably is on sets for Basel, who's a favorite. So at 3,300, that would be great value. All right, defender. Here's going to be the final lock I'm going to give on the slate. Alex Telles, an absolutely huge crosser and puts in beautiful balls. He splits sets and sometimes is on a monopoly for Porto, who I kind of mentioned that I really like today to kind of push it to Leverkusen early. So he's a great player to lock in. Kolarov is a close second if you can fit him. Roma does not have the need to attack as much, but Kolarov still can't help himself but get forward. Roma's only up 1-0, so early goal and game on. Acuna, takes some sets for Lisbon, but I don't see them pushing forward. I don't really want a dog fullback. That's not going to bomb up. There's no other defenders I'm really going to go over. There are plenty of them play. Just keep in mind when in doubt, pick a wide fullback and look at some logs. Hopefully they cross. So that is going to end slate 1. I'm going to switch this monitor over and get over to the late slate. Okay. All right, guys, we are on to the late slate. 6 games. Let's get you an idea of where we are on the ties. Getafe is up 2-0 going to Ajax. We have, I'm going to butcher this, Kobehaven is 1-1 going to Celtic. Another game we're going to heavily target. CFR is going to Sevilla, tied 1-1. Olympiacos to Arsenal, down 1-0. Olympiacos is down 1-0. Bruges and Manchester United are tied 1-1 going to Old Trafford. And we have Ludogorets is going to Inter. Inter is up 2-0. Okay, so with that in mind, let's jump into the plays and a couple of the locks for you. So at forward, as we know, is normally the most important position to get right because that is where all your upside is. And if you mess it up, you are probably not going to win. Martial's a little expensive for a goal-dependent forward, as I feel like is Aubameyang. They are both fine. I think both may be popular in cash. I just may be looking for higher floor options that give me similar scoring upside. Tadic, I think, kind of fits that, especially if you don't see Ziyech in the lineup. He took sets over the weekend domestically. I do think Ziyech plays, but that is just worth noting. Getafe is going to bunker the hell out of this game. They're also going to try to shorten it. A lot of football pundits call it they are masters of the dark arts, staying down longer, keeping the ball out of bounds. They like to shorten games. But that said, Ajax is a very DFS-friendly team that loves to attack. Down 2-0, I definitely think they will be attacking. So my first lock for you guys is Suso, and also Pepe, if he's in, should be on at least half the sets for Arsenal. Really starting to look better under Arteta. 100% in play for cash. Sorry, I skipped over him. But Suso is my first lock. So Sevilla really needs to win. They are kind of in the middle of the pack in terms of qualification for Champions League in Spain. So they're going to be taking Europa very seriously. Suso's been phenomenal since coming over from Milan, taking most of the sets for Sevilla since Banega has really been out of favor since he's going to transfer out. Suso also loves to cross and open play, loves to shoot. Just a very, very much an easy play for me at forward as a huge favorite at home. Scroll down. You see Lautaro, and he's more GPP for Inter, but great scoring odds today. Diak, most of the sets for Cluj, but they are huge dogs, so despite the great log, I don't think that you can play him. So I did see some news. I believe that Ryan Christie for Celtic is out. That brings James Forrest very into play. A lot more will be get put over to his side. Now, he does not take sets, but is a solid play 8,400. Kandreva in 8,300 normally on sets, but I don't think he will be on the side. Lacazette, if you want to go for a goal, 8K is a very solid price. Alexis Sanchez, I saw some predictions that he will be starting up top for Inter. They should 100% be outclassing Ludogorets. So if you want to go for a goal, again, he is somebody you can target. I'm mentioning all these because there's a guy that I'm very interested from a cash perspective. And here he is, Lee Griffiths. So if you see no Ryan Christie, Lee Griffiths will move into all the sets for Celtic, who is a big favorite at home. He also gets the benefit of playing up top, increasing his scoring odds. So there is nothing not to like about Griffiths. Oh, I'm going to scroll back up. One guy I do want to mention from Celtic as well, if you want to do a stack for GPP. Where do you go? Oh, okay, there we go. Edward, I believe is how you say it, but he's been phenomenal for Celtic domestically. He's their leading scorer. Takes a ton of shots. I really do think that Celtic is just going to absolutely maul possession and just early on, everybody going, oh my God, why don't I have more Celtic? So that's another guy that you could play, maybe over Suso if you want more upside, and a stack. Okay, so I gave you 2 locks at forward for floors. If you want to go for upside, fantastic. Have your way. That's just how I'm going to be going. Let's see if there's anybody else I really want to bring up to you. Ryan Babel is an okay play at 5,600. No sets for Ajax, but plays wide. Again, they need to push, so maybe he's more GPP, but I do think he's a solid play at the price. And I don't see anybody else worth mentioning. Okay, midfield. If in, Hakeem Ziyech, future Chelsea man, but DFS God is a lock. So let's throw him in there. As you will notice, based on those 3 that I just gave you, and those are going to be the only 3 that I'm going to give you, you only have about 5,000 left per player. Thus, if you go, I want to play Bruno Fernandes, who I love. You now only have 37.25. You really need some punt defenders. Now, I think that the choice between Bruno and maybe a guy like Christian Eriksen, who is on all the sets for Inter, is very close. Excuse me. You can also, I think, a really interesting play if you're not keen on Arsenal's possession is Mate Valbuena, is just another DFS god, crosses everything, takes a monopoly. Olympiacos is down 1-0, so that could be a very interesting play. I don't favor Arsenal's defensively, but I don't think I want to hitch my wagon to Olympiacos, but he does give you about a $1,300 savings over those top guys. A couple other plays. If Banega is in, it probably would lessen my stance on Suso, but I just don't see Banega playing. Stefano Sensi has not been predictions, but is a really nice player. Would definitely hurt Eriksen from a set perspective. Baraghai plays plays wingback, but with Eriksson and didn't take any sets, so he is way overpriced. Daniel James, sure, he's been terrible since. Okay, I should say he's terrible defensive for DFS. He hasn't been scoring late. He's still doing some good stuff if you watch the games. His motor's amazing, but I don't think he's gonna play for DFS. Fred does split sets for United if in 6,300. He's just been awesome, just to be honest, and that's not a. I think all the Fred jokes have to go away by now. He's been United's second best player in 2020 to Bruno, but he's just everywhere, making tackles, shooting, crossing. It's been awesome to watch. Juan Mata, I don't play Juan Mata. Danny Ceballos, if in, has been splitting sets for Arsenal. I think that 5,600, you could really. That's a very solid play. He has been taking over Ozil, so I will not be playing Ozil anytime soon. Ruud Vormer, if in, takes all the sets for Bruges. United is never a team that loves possession, so 5,100 is fine. Joanne Jordan, he split sets with Suso over the weekend. 4,800 on a huge favorite for Sevilla is very solid and gives you a floor. So I do think that could be a play that a lot of people are on. Just seeing if there's anybody else down here. I believe there's two more. Masoris is a nice player for what it's worth. He doesn't take sets when Valbuena is on, but does draw fouls, does like to shoot, does cross from a wide position. So 3,800. He's fine if you need a punt. Where's my guy? There's two punts down here I want to just quickly bring up. So Pep Biel, let me make sure I get the name right. So when Bengtessen is not playing for Copenhagen, he has been taking their sets. Even when he did play, they split over the weekend domestically. So at 3,300, they are a huge dog. But 3,300 for a share of set pieces and possibly Monopoly is really good. There's one more set taker down here, which is Bordeno. Again, a solid dog, but he plays in the middle, so he does have some little bit of a tackling floor, but splits the sets with Dieck. At defender, I already gave you 3 picks, so I'm not going to lock any defenders for you, but Saka's been playing incredibly well for Arsenal, very in play. Navas and Reguilon are actually both really nice plays for Sevilla, who's going to be pushing. They played as wingbacks over the weekend, so if you see a back three, you could easily play both of them. Dennis Suarez on sets for Getafe. There's a 0% chance that I'll have any Getafe today. I think they are just in full bunker mode. Wan-Bissaka, sure. Serginho Dest, sure. Go America. So Bengtessen. So his last 2 domestic games, let me pull this up for you guys. But his last 2 domestic games for Copenhagen are absolutely insane. He has... Oh, come on. So he had 16 crosses over the weekend, 4 leading to shots. And then the previous week, he went for 30 crosses, only led to 1 shot, but that's still 20 DK. So if you do see him in, he's a hard to pass on at 4,400. But I have seen predictions that is Brian Oviedo. Just a few more plays to mention down here, then we're out. Greg Taylor, worth mentioning, he was playing wingback for Celtic, who, again, you haven't gotten yet, I really like today. So at 3,600, that is really nice. Frimpong started at right back last leg. I don't know if he'll start this one. I have seen it where he's not in, but a young player that is on the radar of a lot of big squads. So a nice play. If I'm missing any, again, feel free to shoot out to me. Just going to the guys that hit my eye when I looked at this. Final guy, where is he? Say 2,900, I know. Martin D. Cooper for Club Bruges actually took the sets last leg for them. He's one of their under 21 guys that really showed out. He played as a wingback, so at 2,900, that would be really hard to fade, if in. All right, guys. So that will do it for the Europa League coverage. I really hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really does help. Also, if you are really starting to get into soccer and want more content and more help, please subscribe. We have the link in the notes, but fsidfs.com. You can get for as low as $3 a day. It covers every soccer action. You can do $10 a week for soccer, or you can look at the VIP subscription, $6 a day or $20 a week. Covers all the sports on DraftKings and FanDuel that we covered. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Have a great day.